Hello and welcome to the course on Upwork Freelancing, how to make money with proofreading skills. So by the end of this course, you're going to know how to proofread. You're going to easily learn that skill so that you can use that to offer clients to make money. And also you're going to learn the secrets of becoming a top-rated seller on Upwork. So my name's Ian Stables and my co-instructor is Dan Birkin. And we will be teaching you in this course what you need to know to be successful on Upwork as a freelancer. Now, I've already asked Dan what success he's had, so I can pass it on to you so that you can see, he knows how to get results. And last year, he was making around $3,000 a month. And I asked him also the minimum amount he's earned is when, usually his minimum is no less than $1,500 a month. Now, how quick can you make money? I asked, and he said you should be able to make money using what you learn in this course in about 2 weeks, or within 2 weeks is what he assures me. And in fact, Dan, his first ever month was $200, but of course he didn't know what he knows now, which is why he's making a lot more money. So you probably will be able to do better than what Dan did when he started, because you'll have the advantage of this course where you'll have everything you need to know up front without having to spend a long time learning everything. So the first thing you're going to learn in this course is how to proofread, and I'm going to show you my special three-step proofreading method. And this method I developed when I was writing and publishing my Kindle books on Amazon. And I tried lots of different ways of editing, and it was always missing errors and mistakes in my writing. And so eventually I did come up with a much more effective method of proofreading and editing my work, and this is what I now call the three-step proofreading method. And it really does work. It makes all your errors stand out, really does make them stand out, so you'll easily be able to spot all the errors when you're using this method. So you'll be able to provide quality work to your clients, keep them returning. And then Dan, of course, will be teaching you all the nuts and bolts, all the things that he knows, all his secrets. And amongst that, he will be showing you how to send proposals to get clients. He'll be teaching you about the importance of pricing and also becoming a top-rated seller. So these are the things you're going to learn in this course to be successful on Upwork as a proofreader. Now, we want to make sure you enjoy this course and get the most from it. And also we're here to help you. So in the course, if you have any questions, doesn't matter what the question is, leave your question in the Q&A section in the course, and then Dan or I will get back to you as soon as possible. Now, I'm not sure about Dan's schedule. With me, I normally get back to your students straight away. Sometimes it is a couple of days, especially over weekends. So, please be patient. I will get back to you, and I'm sure Dan will as well, if it's a question that he can answer for you. Now, also, I've put on here anything you want us to improve or anything you'd like us to add. We would like to know about it, because if we can improve our course to make it better for you, so then, please let us know what that is, and we will definitely give it serious thought. And also, if there's anything you would like us to add, so if there's something that's not taught in the course that you would like to see added, please let us know by putting your suggestion in the Q&A section in the course. So every suggestion is welcome, because it means then we can keep you happy, teaching you what you want to know, and also it means our course can be a quality course and help other students as well. So with that, let's now get into the course.
Freelance-Life Balance. First of all, you can talk about Upwork in different ways, as well as freelancing in general. This will be about my own experience. Above all, Upwork, or any other freelance platform, is an IT product. This means, in some sense, it is a computer game, It turns out that you can and should play it in order to move up the levels. Certainly, I'll tell you about my mistakes. It is difficult for a marketer to tell about own failures, but as a psychologist, I can share them. For example, I am 40 years old and I am not a big boss, but a freelancer. Communicating with clients through Upwork is in fact playing the role of your character on the platform, because it is not you personally, but your persona, your character. I have been in digital for 15 years, have promoted large brands, and have worked in global communication networks. By the age of 30, I had already delivered business presentations in other continents, but at the same time I realized that I didn't want to become a manager, regardless of the fact the business system does not allow you to grow if you do not want to manage others. One reason people become freelancers is because they choose freedom, flexible hours, and don't want to sit in an office and work for someone else. But another reason is their actual readiness to freelance. Such a transition may happen in a quite natural way for those with a quick analytical mind, sufficient emotional intelligence, and self-discipline. Unfortunately, I do not consider myself to be one of them, so I had to go a long way. In any case, it is important to define what everyone understands by freelancing. Are you okay with being monitored by a tracking system to get the highest hourly rate and work not for yourself in fact but for a freelance platform? Some trackers even have the ability to capture your face in front of the screen. With this approach, you de facto do not even do piecework from the customer's project because you are constantly in contact with them. Without time spent, only a freelance platform earns from your project, and you make it from selling your time. If you, like me, are a sociable person, then you may be interested in promoting not only your services, but also the services of other specialists like your group or your agency. However, such deals are much more difficult to close. When I first signed up for a couple of freelance platforms, I came across a Google project that recruits Google Ads trainers to teach their consultants in call centers in Barcelona and Lisbon. To be honest, at that time, I hadn't done PPC advertising for a while, and at first I decided that I wasn't a good fit for this project. However, after some time, I came across this project again, and I decided to apply for it. I went through interviews with Google in 3 days and flew to Barcelona in a week. It was my highest pro-level project ever, and I gained a potential employment offer. However, I managed to stay true to my choice of freelancing. I definitely don't regret it now. Truth and myths about freelancing. Either a feast or a fast. It's true. Freelancing is often referred to as either a feast or a fast. I can say that for the first 2 years, this is indeed what happens. It's just that over time, these fluctuations become smoother and you learn to balance. Temporary solution, it is, but not always. Even though I am now more stable with income and employment than in the last 10 years, I still have thoughts like, what will people say? Or son, what is your salary? Complete social isolation, it's true. For me, nothing much has changed in COVID quarantine. At some point, since I'm a sales lead of our freelancer group, the lack of in-person communication makes me a more motivated and loyal communicator with clients. They feel that, which in turn makes them more loyal too. In addition, my hobby is intercultural communication. You need to plan your finances. It's true. You need to create at least a P&L sheet at the end of the year, with data and a plan. To date, I fill in this sheet on a monthly basis. Relaxing work. This is a myth. A lot of sweat and nerves are required. It is completely impossible to predict and manage clients' reviews and ratings. Perhaps, if you build relationships with clients analytically, then these risks can probably be better predicted. Or you can just keep doing more jobs. The freedom to be lazy. This is a myth. Yes, I can wake up any time in the morning, and I can easily take a day off. But in general, when you wake up, you are already working, and when you finish working, then it's time to go to bed. One-time jobs. This is a myth. Most, or at least half of the projects on freelance platforms are not one-time jobs. Clients are often looking for permanent contractors. Certainly, there are one-time orders, but in fact there is a huge flow of various projects, and you can choose the ones that suit your specific skills best. You need to know English perfectly. That's a myth. It is enough to understand the topics and basic phrases, catch the general meanings, and respond with intelligent humor, unless you offer proofreading or writing services, of course. Losing your qualifications can be both truth and a myth. First of all, it is a matter of flexibility. If you lose one qualification, you may gain another. For example, I am acquiring the qualifications of an international B2B sales manager. At the same time, I cannot say exactly how much over the passage of time I remain a qualified hired manager. I think that the truth is, first of all, that certain skills are always rapidly changing. And the one who wins is the one who remains in continuous business with organizations that need use of your skills. For IT developers only, this is a myth. On Upwork and elsewhere, you can find work for any specialization and expertise. But as a rule, projects there, one way or another, are tied to work with certain IT products. Sales funnel. Discover your prospecting client. Constantly monitor the flow of new jobs. On Upwork, for example, you can set up a filter and receive email notifications from your custom RSS feed. My new job notifications go to my Telegram group. Besides the formal job requirements that fit your expertise, pay attention to a number of other indirect signs. Is their average customer rating high enough? What is their rating, and how many bad reviews did they leave for other freelancers, etc.? Attract a client with your proposal. The whole point is in creating and sending a proper cover letter. There is no specific algorithm or advice about what works and what doesn't. It is necessary to send, and test hypotheses. So-called industrial espionage can also help. Register on a freelance platform as a client, post a typical project that you would like to receive yourself, and monitor cover letters of your competitors. This will help you to consider which proposals you want to respond to, and which letters, on the contrary, would cause less confidence and more irritation. There is no need to send templates. The text should be minimal and as customized as possible in accordance with a particular project. Work at the negotiation stage. We try to get into the head of the customer, trying to understand their tonality and wishes. Then we become the one they are looking for, in a way that compels them to feel that we are the ones who will solve their problems and tasks. At this point, the approach is very similar to the empathy stage of the design thinking technology. Sell of the beginning of cooperation. A technique that works well is to offer something for free to interest a client, if you can afford it. If not, then set a clear framework for what you will do for less money first. Cooperate to increase the cost of services. If your service niche is very structural and branching correctly, then additional services can be naturally built in. This is an excellent opportunity within the framework of a specific project to sell related additional services. As I said above, freelancing is a certain way to organize your work. At some point, it is a transition between two parties, an employee and an owner. In order to grow from freelancers to an agency, it's important to be effective in each of these identities. In general, there is no pure service or pure product. There is always some hybrid of product and service. A freelancer provides a service applied to a particular product, for example, a developer in a particular framework. The agency stage is when you are both a product and a service, and also a client. This does not mean that you need to resell other freelancers like you on Upwork, but with a lower rate. For example, you can include junior specialists in your agency. They might deliver some simple parts of your services, or its initial sale through the funnel described above. As a summary, here are 7 tips from my article for freelancers in one of the local media. Some of the ideas are already provided above. Work on several freelance platforms at once. There are many sites for local and international clients to hire freelancers to work on their projects. The range of orders is wide. All kinds of software development, design, copywriting, search engine optimization, recruitment, finance, management consulting, coaching, and much more. Should you focus on a single freelance platform? My experience and basic logic says that it makes sense to promote yourself on several platforms at the same time. Your expert profile on each of them can be different. This is influenced by the first orders that can be obtained. It doesn't matter if for the first order you have to perform a completely non-core job. The main thing is that this opens the door for new orders, and they will help you get closer to your main area of expertise. Actively apply for projects. Here I wish everyone strength and patience. Yes, you need to respond quickly to all new requests from the freelance platform. It is desirable to apply for jobs on Upwork within 20 minutes from the moment the work is published. In your cover letter to a potential client, you need to sell yourself. I would never have thought that I would be engaged in sales, let alone internationally. On a freelance platform, you are not engaged in active sales, but respond to a request to do this or that job. Therefore, if you, just like me, categorically considers themselves a non-seller, take the situation as consulting, the purpose of which is to involve, not sell. Keep in mind an important nuance. Your messages should be as personalized as possible to the client request. Look for the customer's name in their reviews and include it in your greeting. Have a minimum of cliches in your proposal and be sure to add something about the client's business, your experience, and also ask questions about the assignment. Invite the client to call to discuss the project immediately. Immediate invitation to communication is an element of active selling on a freelance platform, and it is better to do it not by chat, but by voice or video. Imagine that you are a doctor, and you need to listen calmly to the patient who is in pain. Carefully study the client's reputation and how much they are willing to pay according to the statistics of their profile. As a rule, the less the order cost is, the more stress it will cause. But at first, you will have to put up with it. My client's client is not my client. More than half of orders on freelance platforms are placed by small agencies that outsource services for their clients, and they build relationships in different ways. First, they try to lower the cost of your work. Second, they want to get more expertise from you than you are willing to provide for the same money. However, they are not interested in your reputation growth on the platform, if you know what I mean. Though here, as elsewhere, there are, of course, exceptions, but they are rather frequent outside freelance platforms. Offer a responsible payment model. There are two main payment models: fixed amount, by project or by milestone, and hourly rate. The format depends on the type of services and their conditions. Freelance market clients are often entrepreneurs who think on a piecework basis, and in some situations, it is beneficial for both parties to share the financial risks. But you can negotiate a good bonus for a result higher than the agreed one. Freelance relationship. Don't be cheap or greedy. When starting a game on freelance platforms, you should not indicate your value higher than a beginner, even if you have plenty of expertise. Because, at the start at least, your rating is very sensitive to lots of factors. Any mistake can easily cut prospects for further orders. As a freelancer, you create your own added value with your own hands. You are literally playing a character on the freelance platform who speaks at least 3 languages. Customer attraction language. The language of service and product expertise, the language of relationships with the team partners and stakeholders. A successful freelancing strategy is the role of a negotiator in which he is most stable, open to mutually beneficial exchange, passionate and sober at the same time. By presenting yourself to a client, you are talking about yourself. It is important to be aware of how you want to be perceived, and, if possible, play yourself. For example, my thing is sarcasm. Through it, I sell myself and fulfill the objectives. Form a full range of services to make new sales to existing clients. Both one-time projects and regular clients in your portfolio indicate your successful and viable freelancing. Of course, you can offer new services to your loyal clients. Register your freelancer account on Upwork if you don't have it yet. Go to Upwork.com and press Sign Up. Choose to register as a freelancer. You will need to submit your profile for review before you'll be actually able to apply for jobs. Try to be as honest and as detailed with the information in your profile as possible. Successful freelancers have profiles that are complete, accurate, and paint a compelling picture of your services, skills, and accomplishments. Your profile is an opportunity to advertise your freelance business to potential clients. A 100% complete profile is required if you'd like to achieve rising talent or top-rated statuses and more. You can find your profile completion percentage on the right-hand panel of your Find Work page under My Profile. Whether and how you complete your profile is up to you. Many combinations can be used to achieve a 100% complete profile. The required percentage is 60 and the rest 40% are optional. There are many ways to get to 100%, but some items are required. To reach 60%, you'll need a photo, title, overview, at least one employment history item, and at least one skill tag. Any combination of the other choices can then be used to reach 100%. These are examples of pathways to a complete profile. Again, top-rated status requires a 100% complete profile. Sometimes Upwork doesn't accept a sign-up for different reasons, like due to many similar profiles in a certain niche. This means you shouldn't stick to one specific expertise you're especially good at or expect a high demand. Anyway, Upwork lets you to create several profiles under the same freelancer account. The purpose for now is to make your profile initially approved by the Upwork team. We are here to help you. Upwork support is also always available to ask any clarification questions. So do not hesitate to double-check what you're doing even before you get registered or verified. One more trick to get approved. Linking an account provides Upwork with additional information that it uses to verify your identity and consider you for its premium freelancer program, which connects you to the right jobs faster. You can link your public account from the following websites to your Upwork account: Twitter, Stack Overflow, Dribbble, GitHub, Behance, and DeviantArt. Upwork will not post or interact with these sites on your behalf and will not display the account on your Upwork profile. After you are approved, there will be a short call with the Upwork team to confirm your identity. You will be invited to this call once it's available. Continue sending proposals to the jobs relevant to your skills. Before you actually start this, pass the Upwork Readiness Test. The Upwork Readiness Test has 10 questions. It covers the best practices and safety tips that top freelancers use to build successful businesses on Upwork. Each question has a 2-minute time limit, and the entire test should take about 10 minutes to complete. Find it under Find Work, Upwork Readiness Test menu. Your test results will not be displayed on your Upwork profile. However, new users will receive 40 free connects after successfully passing the test. Passing the Upwork Readiness Test is required to be eligible for the Rising Talent program. The Rising Talent badge highlights some of the best new members in the Upwork marketplace. As Rising Talent, new freelancers and agencies can quickly get started, grow their client base, and establish their freelance reputation on the platform. The dedicated Rising Talent badge will display on your profile and proposals. You'll also get the following benefits: reduced fees starting at 10% on featured jobs, a one-time bonus of 30 free connects for you to submit more proposals to clients, access to chat and ticket support from a specialized customer support team. Once you have enough work history on Upwork, your Rising Talent status will automatically be replaced by a job success score. Once you earn a job success score, you can start working toward top-rated status. Rising Talent freelancers are highlighted for having great potential. They usually have strong backgrounds in their fields and early success with Upwork clients. Rising Talent agencies are new agencies that either have strong backgrounds in their industries or were an agency started by top-rated freelancers. New freelancers who qualify to become Rising Talent are invited via email. If you received an invite, you can follow the link in your email to take the Upwork Readiness Test and get your badge. To qualify for a Rising Talent badge, you must pass the Upwork Readiness Test, complete projects on time and as promised to clients, maintain a 100% complete profile with accurate skills and genuine work, keep your availability status up to date, regularly submit proposals to projects that match your skill set, adhere to the Upwork terms of service, have been active in the past 90 days, or joined in the past 30 days. Remember, many factors contribute to a Rising Talent badge. This includes client feedback, the overall strength of your profile, prior experience and skills, your educational background, and the opportunities available in the market. Even new freelancers who have yet to complete any Upwork projects can become rising talent. Please note that it may take up to 48 hours to see the Rising Talent badge on your profile after meeting the qualifications. Once you find a project you're interested in, you can use your Connects balance to submit a proposal. Before doing so, double-check not only the job skills and description, but also if client new on the platform and has no recent jobs or his past freelancers' feedback is okay. His average hourly rate good enough to expect your desired rate be competitive. Click the Submit a Proposal button on the job post page. Set your hourly rate or bid on fixed-priced projects. Write an introductory cover letter for the project. Answer any screening questions the client may ask. Add attachments, such as work samples, to your proposal. Click the Submit a Proposal button. Here are the 5 things that I've found make a good proposal. First, keep your proposals short. My first proposals were long and I tried to include everything I could in them. Long proposals won't convince anyone, as no one will read them. People run from big blocks of text, and no one has the patience to read your life story. Second, capture the client's attention fast. You have just a few seconds to win your client's attention, so you need to be witty in the first 2 or 3 lines. Look for client's name in his freelancer's feedback to make your cover letter more personal. Third, add your samples to the beginning of your application. If there's one thing in your proposal your clients are interested in, it's your work samples. If your samples are good, that is your main advantage for winning the job. Fourth, answer the "why should I work with you" question. Every customer wants to know why they should pick you instead of any other freelancer out there. This is basically what your application has to be focused on. It doesn't mean you should start your application with, "You should hire me because." Present the advantages of a collaboration with you, as well as your qualities. Don't brag, but be honest, and present real facts. Talk about experience, like how many years. Mention your excellent feedback, if you already have some. Mention the number of projects you have worked on so far, inside or outside of Upwork. Tell them about your education, if it is relevant to the job. Point out anything that makes you look good as long as you can prove it via samples or your profile. Fifth, be professional and friendly. "Dear John Doe" will always sound better than "Hi. Thank you for taking the time to read my application" is a great closing line. You can make your proposal more professional or warm with a friendly closing, like "best regards" or "kind wishes." Test everything until you find what works for you. The first few months as a freelancer are definitely not easy and you should expect some tough times. But if you arm yourself with patience, will, and perseverance, results will eventually show and you will get better at it every day. Pricing your services, getting the contract, and leveling up. Every freelancer faces the challenge of how much to charge clients for services rendered. On one hand, you don't want to charge too little and shortchange yourself. On the other, you don't want to overprice yourself out of potential jobs. You ultimately want to get paid what you're worth while staying competitive. It's a difficult balance, and there is no single right formula. I'd like to briefly introduce my own adaptation of universal sales funnel along with a couple of articles of a very successful freelance copywriters at Upwork. First, identify the type of client you're negotiating with. Basically, you've already done this on the stage of preparing the custom cover letter for sending the proposal. So you already know if it's a B2B or B2C client, and client of, let's say, intermediary agency or something different. Each of them has their specific, but obvious needs according to both vertical and services they're looking to outsource. Second, identify and actualize both your skills-related needs as well as clients' persona-specific expectation. We're all human and communication is very important, especially for outsourced services. Furthermore, you're a kind of avatar on the Upwork computer game, so you need to meet clients' expectations by not only promising and actually delivering the expert job but also be a convenient supplier in terms of communication and processes. Third, define and agree the scope of work for initial first steps. Once you've got a rapport, Try to grow from something small. Regardless, Upwork promises to protect freelancers' interest as well. I've never tried the arbitrage services even when I had a sort of issues. In our opinion, the best way to protect your collaboration is to move step by step. However, there are killer-type freelancers who only focus on big bets from the very beginning. Fourth, agree the cost of the aforementioned first steps. This is also a solution for those who are often struggling to price their services or have just started to do it as freelancers. Fifth, outline the perspective and additional services. Again, collaboration will last if the client is satisfied with your communication. This is really hard to predict, as long as it depends on so many factors, including macro ones like pandemic and so on. If you win loyalty as a convenient communicator, you're likely to be hired again for the same services as well as for additional ones. You are very welcome to read the 2 articles attached to this lecture. After the client's job is done, they leave you public plus private feedback. Here you go again with managing the Upwork computer game to work for you. Both private and public feedback affect your job success score and your top-rated badge eligibility. Why do you need this badge? According to Upwork, top-rated freelancers are 50% more likely to get any contracts, including the high-value ones. Top-rated highlights freelancers and agencies who have built a strong reputation on Upwork by getting positive feedback from their clients time after time. They represent the top 10% of talent on Upwork. Benefits. As a top-rated freelancer or agency, you'll have a dedicated badge on your freelancer agency or agency member's profile and proposals that displays to all clients. You'll also get the following benefits: reduced fees starting at 10% on featured jobs, more control over your job success score, invitations to submit proposals to jobs assisted by talent specialists, our Job Digest email to make it easier for you to find jobs that are a great match, faster payments on hourly contracts, premium customer support, including phone and chat. Your job success score measures your client's satisfaction with your overall work history on Upwork's platform. It reflects your client's satisfaction, as shown by relationships, feedback, and job outcomes over time. A high JSS score can help freelancers to stand out in the Upwork marketplace. Your score reflects your overall contract history with your clients and is based on your agency's relationships and feedback. At a high level, platform looks at job success this way: successful contract outcomes minus negative contract outcomes divided by total outcomes. The Upwork system takes snapshots of your 6, 12, and 24-month history in the marketplace and calculates a score for each. The best score out of these moving time windows is displayed on your profile and updated about every 2 weeks. It's important to note that any movement in this score, either up or down, reflects both recent activity and activity over a longer period of time, up to 24 months. Your JSS can change for a number of reasons, even without recent activity. Your best JSS score will be displayed based on the rolling windows when it is calculated. Sometimes new contracts are added. Other times, old activity is aged out. For example, a contract will no longer count in your 6-month JSS window once it is 6 months and 1 day old. Your JSS can change because you receive poor public or private feedback from one or more clients. You receive very positive public or private feedback from one or more clients. A higher value job is added to your score and outweighs lower value jobs. Jobs you completed in the past are no longer considered because they are outside the score's time frame. Now we're back to your top-rated badge. You earn it by building an impressive reputation on Upwork. You must have a proven history of success with multiple clients. Top-rated status helps outstanding freelancers and agencies grow their businesses and become even more successful in the Upwork marketplace. Manage your success on Upwork by tracking your job success score, 12-month earnings, and more on your My Stats page. To become top-rated, you must have the following qualifications: a current job success score of 90% or higher. First hire on Upwork was more than 90 days ago. Maintain rising talent status or a job success score of at least 90% for at least 13 of the last 16 weeks. A 100% complete profile. 12-month earnings of at least $1,000. Up-to-date availability. If unavailable now, set a date estimate. An account in good standing with no recent account holds. Activity on the platform, like proposal, accepted invitation, or earnings in the past 90 days. Unfortunately, feedback very often depends on personal attitude and factors you cannot control. Thus, you might struggle to earn and maintain your top-rated status all the time, which can be very stressful. As I said before, Upwork offers arbitrage service for hourly contracts without manual time tracking. However, it's also not always the best way to go. If you happen to be unsure about your ability to gain top-rated status on your own, consider joining an Upwork agency. While you are an Upwork agency exclusive freelancer, you may apply for jobs only as this agency member. Your status and job success score will be the same as the agency one. If agency members have enough history to have a job success score, their badge will display as a top-rated badge. If they do not yet have enough history, it will be a rising talent badge as long as their profiles are at least 60% complete. If you join a top-rated Upwork agency as an exclusive agency member, then it is possible for you to invite your existing clients from outside Upwork to work with them on the 0% commission fee via BYOC link. For a limited time, Upwork is offering a special promotion for top-rated freelancers who bring their offline clients to Upwork. Upwork offers to top-rated freelancers 0% on fees with new clients they bring to Upwork. That's 0% on all contracts freelancers have with that client forever. Even if they lose their top-rated status, they'll continue to pay a 0% fee on these contracts. What's in it for us as freelancers? Peace of mind, knowing we'll get paid on time, and enjoy Upwork payment protection. Easier project management, keeping all our work in a single spot and streamline payments and invoicing. Earn more work and increase our reputation by completing more projects will rise in Upwork search results. Easier project management for our clients. Clients will appreciate the convenience and simplicity too. Thus, invite existing clients you very trust both professionally and personally. To be sure you end the contract with excellent feedback. Remember to continue applying for other jobs. Once you're eligible for top-rated badge, you can leave the agency or become its non-exclusive member to be able to apply for jobs as an independent freelancer. Once you're an independent top-rated freelancer, you receive your own aforementioned perks. The two most important ones are: the first one is that you receive your own BYOC link to invite your existing and trusted clients from outside Upwork. In this way, you can continue balance risk of losing top-rated status with your own trusted clients. The second most important perk is the options to remove some negative client feedback. You can request to remove feedback in two ways. Either remove only from your job success score. The public score and comment will remain visible on your profile. Or remove from your job success score and from your profile. In this case, public score will be hidden and the comment will be replaced by "This feedback has been removed." The feedback you provided to the client will remain visible. If the client responded to feedback you provided, it will remain visible. Certain restrictions apply to feedback removal. Requests may only be made every 3 months, and after 10 or more completed contracts from the time you submitted your previous request. If you are an agency, your profile must be top-rated or top-rated plus to remove feedback from contracts performed by your agency. Agency feedback removal requests must be submitted by the agency owner, business manager, or agency admin. Remember that removing feedback will not always change your job success score. You can now create your own agency, and if it has a rising talent badge, you can be hired by your existing BYOC clients as your agency owner and its non-exclusive member to make the work history go to both your freelancers and your agency's profiles. The last but not the least point to consider if you want to move from freelancing to agency at Upwork. Remember, we called it Upwork Computer Game. This is also about the fact that it might not be a classic agency with its own office, many employees, and so on. Thus, first of all, ask yourself what are your reasons for creating and developing an agency profile. As long as it might be not the easiest thing to do. On the other hand, if you know why you need it for, this also has to answer what your agency-specific processes need to look like. To our opinion, the initial consideration point should be your confidence and comfort about processing certain tasks by yourself, as well as delegating the rest to other members of your agency. But with points of control, it's not necessary that your agency has to offer broader or higher level services. It can be the opposite, a more affordable option for your clients to get the services, but still with your quality control. Alternatively, if you want to focus more on the delivering service, but less on the sales and client service, you can delegate applying for jobs and other communications to your junior expert.
Hello, Ian Stables here, and in this section I'm going to show you my special method. My special method that allows you to almost get every single error. In fact, since I've used this method, I've been able to do a lot better editing job and proofreading job of what I write. And I've written a lot of books, over 50 books on Amazon Kindle, and I used to spend hours editing and still miss lots of errors. But with this method, it does allow me to spot every single one. In fact, you will find that it makes them stand out for you. They really do stand out, so you easily be able to stop them. Now, it's still up to you, of course, to actually know what an error is, to recognize the grammar and the spelling mistake. That's still down to you. But with this method, you will be able to spot every single one. It's in essentially 3 steps. You quickly first get rid of a lot of the mistakes, then there's the actual method itself, but you need to do this first because otherwise there'll be more to do in this section than you would have had. But this quickly gets a lot of mistakes, get rid of them, and then we go on to this, and then we're going to make it sound natural, right? Conversational. People love conversation. So let's say you're writing a formal document. Ideally, you want to sound it like you're actually talking to the person that's reading what you've written, right? So first, we're going to discuss what to actually look for. So if we open this, so the key thing in writing anything is just to make sure that people can understand what you're actually saying, right? So as long as people can understand you and it makes sense and they get the actual meaning that you are trying to give them, then you'll be fine. You'll be good. So you don't have to have it perfect grammar and everything else, as long as the grammar though is written in a way that people can understand it. Because if a comma's in the wrong place or the wording isn't quite right, sometimes that can change the meaning, and you don't want that. So you want to try and make sure that it's understandable to the other person. Now, if you need to improve your knowledge of this, spelling or grammar, then I strongly suggest you improve your language knowledge. Now, that's what I did. Now, I'm not even now, far from it. I'm not, the perfect grammar expert or anything else. But I can write so in a way that I can make it understandable to the next person. But especially if English is your second language, I strongly suggest you do this step. There's many books out there and guides and YouTube videos that you can watch, or just if you're looking for how to word something, go on Google and you can find a lot of answers there. I do myself and have done. So a couple, a famous book you might want to look up on Amazon is known as The Elements of Style by William Strunk. That one is quite a famous one for grammar and things like that. It's quite a deep book, though I found it. But if you're wanting something which goes through pretty much everything you need to know, this is the the guide to get. For me, though, I actually loved this one here, which is why I've listed it for you. It's called Editor Proof Your Writing. It's by Don McNair, and he actually goes through so many steps that you can follow when you go through your work. He sort of does it in waves, and there's quite a lot of good stuff in there. And I just love it. It made sense of it, the way it was written. It wasn't like dry. It was quite the way it was written was interesting, and I found it quite easy to follow and learn from. So the main thing I want you to take away from this, though, is just as long as it's understandable. So like when you talk to your friends, if you can talk to them and explain it to them and they understand you and understand what you're saying and get the right idea, they don't go away with thinking a different thing to what you intended them to think, then as long as you can do that, you're good. So this method allows you to go through. So I say, don't try to aim for perfection, grammatically correct, perfect, unless you're writing a legal document or something like that, or a school textbook. Just try to make sure that it's understandable. So with that, let's get on with the 3 steps. Okay, so now let's get into the method itself. So the first thing I strongly suggest you do, that will save a lot of time when you come to the next step, is to quickly remove a lot of mistakes. And there's a really simple way to do it, all right? And I'm sure you've heard of it before. Do a quick spell check. So we're not doing a grammar check here. If you want to do that, you can, but really we just want to get rid of very, very quickly a lot of the errors and correct them nice and quick. So I've just borrowed this text. Okay, I've just borrowed this text from the other instructor to use as an example of how this is done. I'm going to be using this as well in the course, well, especially on the step 2. So here it is. You just simply copy and paste it into your favorite word processor, and just about every word processor will have this. If it doesn't, I'd be surprised. And you simply go to find your spelling option, which is here. And what I suggest you just go through them one at a time. So you can just go ignore once for each thing and just keep going through. And then when you need to change it, then change it. But it will very, very, very quickly go through all the errors in your document. You'll quickly be able to remove a lot of obvious spelling mistakes. And what this does is when you come to the second step, when you come to correct things, all these errors will not be there to correct. So you're saving yourself a lot of time just by doing step 1. So this step was really, really simple. So with that, now let's get on to step 2. Okay, so now we're on to the special proofreading method. Okay, so there's lots of usual methods out there, and then there's this way. So really quickly, I just give you an idea, because I want you to realize that this is the method to use. It really is that effective. So, the usual way is, of course, to read it through yourself, usually silently in your head, right? Looking for mistakes and errors. And I spent hours and hours and hours doing that with my books on Amazon Kindle. But even when I thought I'd done a really good job, went through it over and over and over again, people would still come up frustratingly saying, oh, do you know what, Ian, there's this error and there's that error. And these people, fortunately, were helpful people. They were nice people trying to help me. So they were just in a friendly way, point at the errors. But it was frustrating to me, thinking, I spent hours on that and there's still errors in it. So I thought, well, you know what, maybe I've got to pay for an editor, so let's try that. So I paid for an editor, not the most expensive in the world, of course, but a good one that had lots of good reviews. And it came back, and even though they'd done errors and changed the grammar and things like that, came back and there was still errors in it. So I thought, well, there must got to be a better way of editing my stuff. So I decided I learned somewhere, read it out loud. And I thought, well, that's a good idea, so read it out loud. The benefit being that when you read it out loud, the errors, you'll notice more than just reading it in your head. So I thought, yeah, that makes sense. And I realized you do spot more errors reading it out in your head. But you know what? Even doing this method, there were still errors in my work. And I thought, even this method. So I thought, well, why isn't this working? I thought, do you know what it is? The mind plays tricks. So when you're reading it to yourself, even though you're reading it out loud, your mind plays tricks, and your mind sometimes will miss spelling errors, like common spelling errors, like there and there, that sort of thing. The spelling different, or fills in blanks, puts in a word that's not really there when you're reading it to yourself. So that's why I still had errors. So I thought, well, do you know what, get someone else to read it to me instead, and if need be, record it. But even doing that, there'd be errors because the other person reading it, again, it's a human failing, but it's what the mind does. It plays tricks. So the other person their mind would have probably imagined there was a word there when it wasn't, or imagined the spelling's correct when it wasn't, and read the word, and of course the spelling sounds correct, right? So that wasn't the solution as well. So I needed something so that, and plus when someone was reading it to you, you've got to keep stopping and going back to your document to try and find the bit that you notice is wrong. and then change it and then keep doing that every time you hear something. It takes a lot of time. So that brought me to this solution. So to avoid this video going on too long, because I want to demonstrate it to you as well, I'll do that in the next lecture, so part 2. Okay, now for the solution, this is what I suggest you do in step 2. It will allow you to remove pretty much or spot every single error a lot easier than it would be if you read it to yourself or someone reads it to you. And the answer is get a computer to read it to you instead, because when you read it, your mind fills in the blanks or assumes words are spelled correctly, and it'll read words that aren't there. It's the same with someone reading it to you, but you have the benefit of noticing errors more when something's being read to you at the same time as the accuracy. So the software I recommend that you use is Natural Reader. Now there's other software out there, but for me this works quite well because you can play back and then simply pause, correct the mistake, and then click play again and carry on through your document. Now what I suggest you do though, when you're playing this, you're having your text read to you, you go through and correct all the errors. You'll get most of the errors the first time round, but I would go through another 2 or 3 times after, just to make sure. I normally find that I get most errors the first time. I'll get a few more on the second time, and the third, maybe 1 or if any at all. Just make sure that you don't miss anything as you're reading through. So the Natural Reader is software you can get for free. So if you go on to Google and type Natural Reader in, you can get it certainly free at this time anyway. Now there is paid versions, but essentially the only advantage is it gives you more voices, different voices. But for me, the free voice that comes with the free version is absolutely fine. So before I give you a demonstration of it, just a few things, like I said already 2 or 3 times, I would adjust it to a comfortable speed. So when it's playing back to you, you'll be able to spot the errors and correct them better than if it was too fast. So not too slow, not too fast, just adjust it to a speed that you're comfortable with. And the main thing to make this work is, well, you must follow along. So in other words, don't look down or look away, just listen to it, because then there will be some things that will slip by you. For example, here, these are what we call homophones. Words are spelled differently, but sound the same. So it could have gone over a word that is spelled T-H-E-R-E, and it will say there, but in actual fact, you meant T-H-E-I-R instead, or T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E, or it's, your. So if you're looking away from the screen, you won't see that mistake. So if you follow along on the screen, you will notice them notice them that way by looking at the screen. So let's have a quick demonstration of it in action. So here we are. This is Natural Reader and this is the text screen. So simply just copy and paste your text in here that you want to proofread and edit. So the first thing I say you want to do is adjust the playback speed by clicking this option here. And normally it's on step, I think it's on number 1. Personally, my personal preference is -1. It's not too slow and it's not too fast. It's just comfortable for me, but you may well find that another setting works better for you. But the trick is not to have it too fast. So just to show you what this sounds like, you just simply click play, and then when you want to edit anything, you just click pause. So
first of all, you can talk about Upwork in different ways, as well as about freelancing in general.
So, you just listen to the text being read to you, and when you notice a spelling mistake or a wording that needs to be changed, you simply make the changes and then press play again. Now, the only thing about this is a new version. The original version of Natural Reader I used to have, that used to just play back from the part you were in, but this one annoyingly starts to play back from the beginning. So when you've corrected a mistake, it will start from here. Now don't worry, it won't, if you're down here somewhere, it won't suddenly fly you, back up to here, which would be, not very good. It does leave you on this bit here. So you would just simply, when it starts playing back again, just click on this sentence here. So I'll just show you as a demonstration. Let's say we've just made a change down here. So and just click on the sentence you're on, say it was that one. And it will start from there, and it will carry on reading through the text until you pause. So when you click pause, You just correct the mistake, click play, and click on where you are actually up to, or you want it to start playing back from. So let's just show you how you can notice these mistakes here. So I'll just show you something.
However, it turns out that you can and you should play it in order to move up the levels.
Okay, so there's a mistake there I've noticed. So it turns out that you can and you should play it in order to move up the levels. There's too many. The word "you" appears twice, and it makes better sense if we take one out. So it turns out that you can and you should play it. It should be. It turns out that you can and should play. So just take out that word there, and then simply play it back. It goes from the beginning. But we'll click on the sentence we're on.
It turns out that you can and should play it in order to move up the
levels.
levels.
You can see there, it sort of makes it stand out for you. Now, again, there's something else I noticed earlier a bit further down that we can also correct. So I'll just play this sentence to you.
It turns with this approach, you, de facto, do not even do piecework from the customer's project, because you are constantly in contact
so I don't know
with
if you
him.
notice it there, but because you are constantly in contact with him. All right. So if you know you are, instead of that is your. So it sounds like because you are or you are, right? So this would either be change this to you because you are, or you can just simply get rid of the are because you're. So as you can see, you can spot that mistake just by having the playback. So you just play that back and we'll just click on this sentence. All right, so
first of all, with this approach, you, de facto, do not even do piecework from the customer's project, because you're constantly in contact with him.
So you can see that's easy to correct that mistake. So say now you've corrected that there, and it will play back from there. But when you correct something, it will start back from the beginning, but you just click on where you've left off. So that really is the method, just by having a computer read it back to you. Though it's a simple idea, it's one that will highlight and make mistakes jump out at you, and it will also read exactly what you've got on the screen. So if you've got a spelling mistake, you'll see straight away the obvious spelling mistake. So actually, let's put one in here. Let's just say we've gone like that. It's not really a word, and we'll just play this sentence here.
First of all, such a transition might happen quite organically, for of those with a quick analytical mind.
That didn't sound right. So you can say, oh, a mistake there. So you just delete that there, and then we're all done. So that really is it. Just go and get this natural reader software, get the free version. It's fine as the free version, and just copy it. Now, when you've done all your editing through the documents, I suggest 2 or 3 times, then when you're happy with it all, you just simply copy the whole, all the text in here, and then copy that and paste it back into your word processor or wherever it is you want to have it saved. Now here's the third step now, and it's one that I suggest you do. So unless you're writing something that's formal, like a textbook or a legal document or something like that, if you're writing something, normally you would best make it sound like a conversation. So I know myself, when I've read books and things like that, I love those books which sound like the author's actually talking to you in the same room. You can almost hear the voice, and this is backed up, and it's not just me, lots of reviews have said the same thing, especially when you're writing something which is selling something as well. It does better. It's been proved over and over again that it sounds much better when it sounds conversational. So the best way to make it sound natural is read it out loud. Read it out loud. So I know you were going to say, oh Ian, but earlier on you said don't read it out loud to yourself, your brain plays tricks. Yeah, sure, that was when you're looking for errors and grammar errors and things like that, but this is to make it sound natural now. So we've got rid of the errors. Having said that, you may well still spot 1 or 2 errors if you missed them on step 2 doing this, but the main purpose of this though is to make it sound natural, conversational. So when you're reading it, how do you feel? So when you're reading it out loud, if there's any, you will know when it doesn't sound natural, like you would say something, you naturally feel uncomfortable. It doesn't feel right. And so that straight away, when you get that feeling when you're reading through it, you know that maybe you should just change the wording. So what I normally do there is I turn away from the text, and I imagine I'm saying, I look at what it is I'm trying to say, and then I turn to an imaginary person in the room, imagine they're there, and explain what I'm trying to explain in my text to them. So just say it naturally, just like you would a friend in real life. And then often what I find when I do that is I automatically come up with the right words that are conversational, because you're speaking like you are to a real person in the room. And then just turn back to the screen and type it again. So that's the trick with this. It's a really simple step, but it's a way of making everything sound natural and conversational. Just read through it, and you will notice when there's something you've read doesn't feel quite right. It's not because it's not the way you would normally say it. So ideally you should have everything you write written in a way that's exactly like you would say it to that person in real life. And that means then your writing is going to come over as conversational. So go through your text, read it out loud, and correct where anything doesn't feel natural for you. So that's the 3 steps. So follow those 3 steps. Quickly remove most of your a lot of your mistakes straight away by doing step 1, and then the step 2 is the special method I have for proofreading and editing your text. If you follow that 2 to 3 times, you will find that will allow you to more easily spot every mistake and poor wording or grammar error there is in it. And if you need to upgrade your knowledge a little bit for that, say if English is your second language, remember to go and get some books or videos or whatever and improve your knowledge there. And then finally, make it sound natural by reading it aloud. So I hope you have enjoyed this course, and I really do hope that you get really good results by using your new proofreading skills on Upwork. But one simple instruction. It might seem obvious, but it's surprising how many people take courses and don't get results. And usually the reason is because they don't take action. So it might sound very obvious, but surprisingly many people don't do anything. So we don't want you to have no results. The reason we did this course is so that you can get results and make a good income on Upwork. So please don't just take this course and learn it and put it away. Please take action by following what you've learned. So also remember that we are here to help you. So if you have any questions at all, doesn't matter what it is, any questions, please let us know by posting your question in the Q&A section in the course. Now you can send us a message instead, but we probably won't pick that up as quickly as what we would if you put it in the Q&A section. Now Dan and I will get back to you and answer your questions as quickly as possible. Now please be patient. So sometimes there may be a few days before we reply to you, but that's usually because, say, a weekend. Please be reassured that we will come back to you as soon as possible and answer your questions. Also, we'd like you to suggest anything to us about improving the course. So if you think that there's something in the course you would like to improve, please let us know. Once again, do that by putting your suggestions in the Q&A section of the course. Or also, if you think that there's something that you would like us to add to the course. So perhaps there was something we didn't cover in the course that you would like covered. So please let us know what this is by posting your suggestion in the Q&A section in the course. We'd really appreciate you telling us these things, because we want to make the course as good as possible for you and also for future students. So please post your suggestions or questions in the Q&A section in this course, and above all else, take action. So thank you very much for taking this course.